you doing, everybody? This is literally today, so on a Friday, what we do is a bit of cooking. We do one of our renovation recipes, and actually today, this is a proper renovation recipe because we were up at 6 o'clock this morning. Bank holiday? What bank holiday? We were up at 6, we've been over to the rental flat, we've been painting, I've been cleaning, I've got my scruffs on, and we're absolutely ravenous, so I've raced back to rustle up something to eat. So actually, I know that on a couple of the weeks we've done the renovation recipe and I've been quite prepared and I've been here at the house and just people, but this is literally like flying home, whapping out a meal, and then that'll keep us going and keep us sustained for some considerable time. I'm going to cook something really fast. I'm going to cook some pasta to make us go faster, because we need to go fast to paint, and I'm going to use something which is a renovator's friend, I think so anyway, which is chorizo, if you're common, and chorizo, Spanish sausage. So generally this is the kind of thing that, and I did read once online somewhere, I can't remember where it was, that there isn't a dish that can't be enhanced by a little bit of chorizo, and I probably agree actually. It's one of those things that I tend to keep in the fridge because a tiny little bit of it just adds so much oomph to a dish. So I'm going to make some pasta with that, and they last for ages as well in the fridge. So generally, while we're renovating, I've always got half a chorizo sausage. Well, I'll start off with a full one, obviously, and then it just gets eaten. We're going to have some black olives. I've got some leftover cherry tomatoes and a little bit of chili, and a garlic clove. Normally I would put onion and garlic in, but I felt chastised the other week when we did the Italian renovation recipe, the Cavatelli with prawns with Nick from Tenuta. He said that Italians never put onions and garlic in the same dish, and I have to say, been guilty of that for my entire life. Now I'm not going to change it completely. I'm still going to use garlic and onions, but I've just thought today I'm going to leave out the onions and just use the garlic. So it's a little bit of an experiment. So a top tip. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get cooking, and then I shall give you a couple of tips. I should give you a couple of my cooking tips. Hang on a sec. So we'll get our pan on. We'll just dry the surface. Because it's wet, and induction hobs don't like wet surfaces, do they? So first of all, I'm going to get my chorizo going. It's really fast. This it's literally about a 5-minute recipe. So I've got decorating to do. So let's get. I'm not going to use an awful lot of olive oil because there's already quite a bit of oil. If you've never cooked with chorizo before, it's got fat in it and a little bit of oil, so I don't need a lot of oil. So I'm going to put this in first with my chilli and my garlic and let that cook on about number 5, so quite a high heat, just for a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to add my tomatoes, and then look what else I've got, because it is a bank holiday after all. Just a little bit of wine. What are you lot doing on bank holiday? Are you actually working? Oof. Or are you just relaxing? Well, I say working, do you know what I mean? You won't be working, will you? But some of you, if you're self-employed, might be, because we're self-employed. So obviously, bank holiday is pretty much like any other day for us. I was thinking about last year when we were filming for Your Home, not filming, but when we were making Your Home Made Perfect. And I think every single bank holiday last year, we were on the road, away from home, at a different part of the country. So you'd think, wouldn't you, that this year in lockdown I'd take advantage of being at Moregeous mansions. Oh no. So can you see the chorizo? I feel like I need to say it in a Spanish accent. Chorizo. Hang on. Greg's revealing the bath. Revealing it? And cleaning the ground. Resealing. I think you mean resealing, don't you? Right, so I've got my chorizo in. I'm going to put a little bit of chilli. I've only used half it. Can you see it's quite smoky? I've only used half a chilli because I don't want to blow everyone's socks off in the middle of the day. And I've only used also quite a small garlic clove. Can you see that going in? Ooh. So 2 seconds. And then I'm going to add my tomatoes. Whenever, I think, you know what, when you are renovating and you want to cook for yourself, the trick is to just try different recipes and see what works for you. I've found that we really struggle if we're not eating fresh food. So on the occasion, sometimes, you know, in the depths of winter when we were renovating, if we were really struggling to cook, it was just bloody cold, you know, it was really cold in our house for a long, long time. And we did have, you know, we'd order from Cook, I don't know if you've ever used them, they have frozen food, but it's freshly made, really good, but it's quite expensive. Or if we had ready meals in the freezer. If we just had a couple of weeks of just eating ready meals or takeaways, my energy levels went down and I just did not feel very healthy. 1 minute, so I'm letting my tomatoes, I've got it on quite a high heat, so I just sear the tomatoes a little bit. I quite like it. Hang on a minute. If you just leave the pan with this one, so your tomatoes get a little bit brown, you don't want to keep moving it around and keep disturbing it. You want that Maillard reaction a little bit, so they just get a little bit burnt almost. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I would find that our energy levels just dropped, you know, when we were eating crappy food. And it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about cooking well during a renovation, because I think that you need those energy levels. You need to be healthy, don't you? You need to eat well, so you can deal with not only the physical activity, but also kind of like the emotional stress of a renovation, because it takes its toll on you, doesn't it? Renovating, both physically and mentally. So I've got my black olives in. You can leave those out if you don't like black olives. It's not a major problem. The only other thing I'm going to put in here now, so I'm going to put some wine in. Do you remember, if you're doing a sauce for pasta, rather than just put some tomato stock in, I'm going to show you another tip in a second. Just add a little bit of wine. I'm going to do that now. Right, so check your tomatoes and just check that. Oh yeah, lovely. Look at that. Hang on a sec. I'm going to show you one of my tomatoes. Woohoo! It's a bit hot. It's a slippery little varmint. Hang on. Can you see? I've done it so the tomatoes are literally getting a bit brown underneath. I'm going to add, whoop, you can hear the difference in the noise. Add a little bit of wine and bubble that down. Let that reduce and boil down, and then this looks really fancy, doesn't it? It's like really fancy renovators recipe, but do you know what? I'm going to cheat today. I'm going to cheat, and who doesn't cheat? You can have really, really fabulous fresh food, but you can also just help yourself out a little bit. So I'll tell you what my top tip for renovating is, hang on, leave that down, is if you've only used half a jar, I'm such a fan of Lloyd Grossman sauces, if you've only used half a jar of sauce, put it in the freezer, in the jar, so you don't end up throwing it away. Can you see? I've still got the it's still got the ice on it. So I've literally put the whole thing. I've used half of it for a bit of a sauce, just to add a little bit of extra and then I've just frozen the whole jar. So what I'm going to do actually is just stick this in the microwave on defrost for about a minute. Just while this reduces down. There you go. My wine has completely reduced down now, so it's exactly how I want it. So then I'll add a little bit of sauce to that. And you know, when you're renovating, it's okay to cheat. It's totally okay to cheat. You can add a little bit of Lloyd Grossman sauce, or you can add half a tub of Dolmio, or if you've got a little bit of passata left over, I'm gonna put about, oh gosh, I don't know. Not a lot. About a double is a new word. A double of passata, and then I'm going to add a little bit of that Lloyd Grossman sauce, and then that literally is my pasta sauce. And I'm going to put some fresh parsley in it. Just one sec. So let's get our pasta on. So while the sauce is just defrosting, and I'll probably only use half of that Lloyd Grossman sauce as well. I think that's the tomato and basil one. Do any of you guys freeze sauces or freeze anything that you found? Oh my god, that's a brilliant thing to freeze. The other thing I like freezing is coconut milk. You know, if you've only used half a tin of coconut milk on a Thai curry or something. I talked about this the other week when we did the green Thai curry. You can just freeze it, and coconut cream freezes really well, like that. Because I've got about that much of passata, and I'm probably, because the weather's really nice, I'm probably not going to use this over the weekend, so I'll stick that in the freezer. And then it means that rather than on Sunday looking at it and thinking, oh god, I haven't used that, I need to throw it away, I'll be able to freeze it and get it out. So zero waste in this house. Actually, might need another couple of minutes. Normally, I forgot this morning, but normally if I know that I'm cooking something and I've got half a jar of whatever in the freezer, I'll take it out in the morning. But I was not very organised. So I've got my fresh pasta, which is going to take 2 minutes to cook. Only me and Mr. Moregeous eating, so half a packet of fresh pasta. Again, the reason I like this when you're renovating is it's so fast. So 3 minutes, as opposed to dried pasta, which takes 10. And then if you've only got a single ring induction like I have, the sauce, by the time the pasta's cooked, the sauce is still warm, which is really useful. Oh, I'll tell you what else I wanted to show you. Today. Who can guess what this is? And I don't want any rude guesses. Okay, can you see a little bit closer? Who can guess what that is? Come on now. I don't know whether to just leave you guessing, you know. It's wild something. Okay, there's a clue. It's wild garlic butter formed into this shape, so it freezes well. It's a lady called Steph, who probably is working at the minute, not watching, but Steph has made this and sent it to me in a care package. So you can freeze it and then just cut a little bit off. If you've ever tried it or made it, so if you're lucky enough to have wild garlic growing near your house, get yourself out and pick the leaves, and then add it into butter and get it frozen. And actually you can do exactly the same with rosemary or tarragon. You know, when you go to the supermarket and you go to the fish counter and they have the little sort of circles of butter that they give you. They're so easy to make. And if you make a batch of them and keep them in, hang on a minute, keep them in a container like that, like your Chinese container in the freezer. So make some rounds, cut them up, and then you've always got flavoured butter, haven't you, for chicken, or to add, you know, if you put a dollop of herb butter on some pasta, or if you put it on steak, wild garlic butter on steak. It's a really, really good thing to do. And again, we grow a lot of herbs in our garden. I've done a video on how to grow herbs in your garden and the good ones to grow. And if by the end of the summer you found you've got lots of tarragon and lots of herbs that you haven't used, it's a really good thing to do, is to freeze them in some butter. So the other thing I'm going to do is the tip that Nick from Tenuta Morelli taught me, which was save some of the salty pasta water. I've got two small ladles full, and then I'm going to drain that pasta. Whoop. I'm going to let the plate fall over in the sink. I'm going to drain that pasta, put it back in my pan. And actually, you know what, if you are renovating and you haven't got a big colander, it doesn't really matter, because you can just use the pan lid, can't you, to drain everything off. So I'm going to, and when we cooked with Nick the other week, with his pasta, he put half his sauce in. So I'm going to get half my sauce. I'm going to add that to the pasta, and I'm going to save a little bit for decorating on the top. See, I've learned, Nick. I'm going to get some fresh chopped flat leaf parsley and just throw that in as well, and leave a little bit on the side as well for decoration. And I'm going to add a little nobble of the wild garlic butter as well. So if you're having, you can actually have this, just have this on fresh pasta on its own. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing. And then turn the pasta back up to number sort of 2 or 3. So it takes, the fresh pasta takes about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, but I've actually taken it off a little bit early. And this is the tip, the Italian tip that I've learned, is to take it off a little bit early and add some of the water back in, and it just carries on cooking. I'm not going to add it all because I've only done like a small amount of pasta just for lunch. And then cook it through. And it just, that extra minute, so the minute that you've taken it off the heat, if you're supposed to cook it for 4 minutes and you only cook it for 3, cook it through for another minute in the sauce, and the flavours of the sauce go into the pasta. Can you see? So there you go. So we've got the wild garlic butter just melting into that sauce. The extra water that's gone in, that's gone completely, hasn't it? So that's all, oh my goodness, it smells so good. Seriously smells good. So there you go, that's it. That's it, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, pasta meal. You haven't got the thing out of the microwave, says Zoe. Do you know what, I forgot when I was chatting. So basically, I'm just going to pack it out a little bit with some more sauce. Whoop, where's my spoon? That's what I was going to do. And actually, that just shows you that, oh, turn that down. It actually could be a kind of meal in itself. But because I didn't have that many cherry tomatoes, I've packed it out with some sauce from the freezer. There you go. I'm just going to mix that in. And once again, you see, our recipes for renovators are not prescriptive. If you have something else in the fridge, if you've got some courgette in the fridge, or if you want to add some peas, or if you don't like black olives and you want to add, I don't know, some green beans, you totally can. So there you go. Lunch is served. Lunch is served in about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to warm that through a little bit more. Then when I put it on the plate, and I'm going to sign out now because we're in a bit of a rush. So when I put it on the plate and serve it up, I'll take a nice picture of it and put it on stories so you can see what it looks like. But pretty much, I don't know, if that's not proof that even if you're renovating on a single ring, you can make a lovely lunch in a very short period of time, quite cheaply, then I don't know what is. Ta-da! Right, I'm going to go because we've got to eat this and then go and paint. So I'm going to put some of that on my stories later on as well. And I might just have to finish off the last of the Chianti. Chianti. Name the film. Name that film. I'm going to wash it down with a nice glass of Chianti. Okay, first person to send me that on my DMs wins a prize, but I'm not telling you what it is. Laters. And right on cue. There we go. So it looks okay. How's it taste? Is it good?
I love Fridays.